Oh, when it just makes sense. Oh, it's your red pill, brown girl. Get into the truth. It's your red pill, brown girl.
Brown girl.
Yeah. Oh, when it just makes sense. Oh, it's your red pill, brown girl. Get into the truth. It's your red pill, brown girl.
Brown girl.
Yeah.
What is up, everyone? It's Crystal. It's your red pilled brown girl coming at you. You guys, I am so super excited to be here with you guys. I'm so grateful that you continue to watch me and listen to my content. As I usually say, you guys, you may not agree with me, but I promise I'm gonna make you think. You guys, it has been quite some time that I have gotten on here and just been able to talk. I left a post in communities that was just kind of giving you an update on my life. It has been so much going on, but I am grateful that you guys are just kind of hanging in there with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you have not already, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. I'm going to be all in the comments this time, you guys. I really try to kind of not be fighting with y'all in my comments. But you guys, it's just part of the game. Let's have a chat. Let's connect. Like I said, you may not agree with me, but I promise I'm going to make you think. Um so this whole Andrew and Candace debate, you guys, we got to get into that. We are going to also give a couple of updates like in politics. Is that like a thing anymore? I watched Ben Shapiro actually talk about, oh god, if you didn't get a chance to watch his interview with PBD, y'all please go over to watch it. Y'all know I'm a Ben girl. I love Ben Shapiro. He's actually very, very smart, very insightful. Um, and he was just kind of like updating us on like politics. Like, are we talking politics anymore? I feel like everybody's like talking drama. I don't know, you guys. Leave me a comment. Make sure you let me know what you think about the show. If you are on X or if you are on Rumble, I am now on Kick, you guys. If you are, please come over to my YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, help me grow my YouTube channel. But you guys, I just want you to rock with me. So even if you just watch me where you feel comfortable. Okay, so let's get into this and Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens debate. I talked a little bit about it on my Unblack show with Blanche on Friday, you guys, but I do want to make sure that I go over a few things because I watched it back. Any of you guys like watched it back? It's very, very long. But I do think that I was a little harsher on Andrew than I probably should have been. I think that I have a whole lot of respect for Andrew. So you guys, my comments on Friday were just very generic and based on the first time that I watched it. But Andrew Wilson, content wise, I believe he was, I would describe it to unprepared. Unprepared. And there was a lot of things that Candace Owens was just kind of saying, and they weren't necessarily true. And I think that if a Steven Crowder or I mean, she had already got spanked by Nick. So if a Steven Crowder or Nick Fuentes had got in there with her, like I don't think she would have been as prepared. Um, Andrew Wilson, to me, I believe that he was more so like they're handling her with kid gloves. So Andrew Wilson is typically used to being on the Whatever podcast. You guys know I went on there. And on the Whatever podcast, it's a dating podcast. So those girls are basically coming there used to being beat up, used to being talked down to, used to like somebody saying you're a stupid bitch, you're a this, you're a that. So he's like that's the arena he's used to. I don't think that he was ready for being in an arena with a black girl. Candace Owens is black. She still gives the whole black girl vibes. Even though she's incredibly poised and very professional and intelligent, she still comes across like a saucy black bitch. She just does. And she not only is she black, she's pregnant, right? So poor Andrew Wilson is trying to debate her, and I don't think that he was like prepared for what he was going to get with her. And um I would give him points for him at least trying to be professional and not like knock her socks off. Um, if I were him, I would have kept a lot of my debate strategy with her because she deserved it. Like she was like he was being really polite to her and she was being like a jerk. She really was. I mean, like she was being a jerk. And he was maintaining his composure. He was shaking like he was so upset because I do think that he realized that she was like pinning him, but there was several times that he could have pinned her. So we're going to get into that, you guys. If you haven't already and you are watching me on Rumble or if you're watching me on X, please come over to my YouTube channel, support the show. Let me know what you think about the show. I really, really appreciate all the support. Okay, so let's get into this debate. There were a couple of key moments because I feel like everybody's talking about the fact that he couldn't that he couldn't recite the charges. I felt like that was corny, y'all. I felt like it was a cheap shot. I do think that he should have been able to recite the charges. Don't get me wrong. I think that he should have been able to recite the charges. But if he wasn't able to recite the charges, like who cares? like who cares? I think he went in with a lot of pride, and I don't think he needed that much pride. I really don't. Like she is the one with the huge platform. She is the one with millions of subscribers who are hanging on her every word. He never claimed to know all the details about the case, and I feel like he should have leaned into that. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment, let me know. I feel like he should have been like, I don't know the details of this case. And yes, I don't know the details, but I care about Charlie. He's my friend. Like, I feel like he should have leaned into it. Let's go to it real quick, you guys. So right off from the bat, right off the bat, in his opening statement, hold on. In his opening statement, I did not like that he read the entire thing. Okay? He read the entire opening statement. Now, mind you, that is a debate structure, a debate strategy for some people, not a debate strategy. Y'all have to remember, Candace Owens, her audience is female. You guys, mostly female. And so I think she had like 220 something people watching on her channel. I think PBD had like 70 something people, and I think Andrew Wilson had like 26 or something like that. But think about it, mostly female. Y'all, I don't even like when pastors read their sermon. I don't even like when pastors read their sermon. I be like, oh, they don't have the Holy Ghost. They don't have the Holy Ghost because they reading their sermon. You gotta at least look up. You got to at least talk through it, right? And so even him reading and just kind of looking down, I feel like he lost a lot of credibility there. But the content in what he said, a lot of men will appreciate it, right? But you got to remember, her audience is mainly female, true crime and all that. I do think that she had the stronger opening statement. You guys remember, she had more to lose. She has been studying she has been studying this case like like every day. Whether you think she's been making money off of it, who cares, you guys, right? No matter, like, well, I don't care. I know some of you guys care, but I don't care. She had a friendship with Charlie, right? That is not debatable. She had a friendship with Charlie, and you guys just think about it from your own life. If you had a friend and your friend was publicly executed the way that Charlie was, you would kind of be a little obsessive about the case. That's not that's not up for debate, right? And so because she was obsessive about the case, she was rewarded in viewership, she was rewarded in people watching it. Now, mind you, obviously there was a lot more people that were obsessed with the case too because they watched it. It's not Candace Owens' fault that like she provided a product and people consumed it. And that's another thing, you guys. Like, I'm sick of like this socialism that's kind of creeping into the right. What's going on with that? Can somebody help me with that? Hold on, let me big screen myself real quick. What's going on with this socialism that's going on with the right? Look. Y'all, this is when you are not when you do not have an assistant. What's going on with this socialism with the right? People can make money if they provide a product. Nobody owes anyone anything. People are saying, "Oh, Candace Owens need to give away her $300,000 to Charlie's kids." Mind you, if that's what she wants to do with her $300,000, then she can do that. But she doesn't owe anybody anything. Hold on, you guys. Sorry. Uh, she doesn't owe Charlie's kids anything, and Charlie's kids are gonna be okay. They're going to be taken care of. Hold on, let me put my necklace back on. Yeah, she doesn't owe anybody anything. We don't come from a socialistic type mindset, us conservatives. So I don't know where this is kind of creeping in the conservative movement, but nobody owes you anything. And Candace Owens made a deal that Andrew Wilson gets to try to embarrass her in front of her 6 million subscribers. He did not get to do that. He paid $300,000. We don't get to tell her what to do with it. And mind you, I'm not even a Candace Owens fan. I think the girl is crazy. I think the girl is not particularly um uh the smartest person, but we don't get to tell her what she does with the $300 that she made because she made a deal. Okay. So going back to I just went off for a little while, but yeah, like can we stop that telling her, "Oh, she should give it the money to Charlie's kids or she should donate the money." Like she doesn't have to do anything. Actually, he paid the $300,000, you guys, to be able to debate her on her platform, and the terms of the deal were made. But I do think that there was a miscalculation as to how much she really cared about this case. I think people don't the easiest way for them to discredit Candace Owens is to say that she's grifting off her friend's death. I really don't think so. I'm putting myself in her shoes that if my friend was publicly executed, I would kind of be a little obsessed with the case too. Now, that's her friend. You guys, can we stop lying, saying that they were never friends? They were. We know it was. The famous interview, the famous question with Charlie Kirk being asked, about his friendship. He said he's not going to stop being friends with her. That's all true, and I think that we lose by being fake about it, right? Like I think that we need to be honest about the fact that her and Charlie were friends. Now, whether or not um Andrew Wilson and Charlie were friends, up that's not even a question of whether or not they were friends. They don't have to be friends for him to make the claims that he's making. But I do think that it's disingenuous for us to say that they weren't friends. So, I think that he should have approached it like, "Hey, I understand that this is a little bit more sensitive for you because you had a relationship with Charlie." But he went in there trying to convince us that she did not have a relationship with Charlie and that it was just dreams and vibes. And I just, y'all, can we just stop doing that? That's just not, it's not true. Okay, cool. All right. All right, let's look. Let's
To kill me. That was a message sent September 9th. Whatever could he have meant by that? Well, I think he really feared they would. I believe Charlie Kirk, and I have the receipts. No, I didn't have a dream where he came to me and told me that the left killed him. No, he didn't come to me a dream and say, Candace Owens betrayed him. That never happened. In fact, I don't need dreams of any kind because I hold in my possession never before seen messages from Charlie Kirk to his security team on September 9th, 2025. I'm going to share the message with you today, which is the first time this information's ever been publicly revealed. On September 9th, Charlie's security team wrote to him, yes, law enforcement has been fully supportive and agreed to a security plan and posture. Tomorrow's event will be covered by both my team and the campus PD. If additional support is required, patrol units will be available. I have 11 on site. Charlie responded with this, okay, great. Remind them that they are there for one person's security only because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me.
Okay. All right. So when he said that, he said that never before seen text messages about the left trying to kill. Honestly, you guys, I didn't really feel like that was a gotcha moment because I probably think that Charlie thought every day that the left was trying to kill him. I really do. And as you can see, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong about the fact that he had probably said some things that had pissed off a lot of people. He had gotten very big and powerful, you guys, and big and powerful people. The reason why they even have security is because people try to assassinate them. When you get powerful like that, then this is one of the realities that you live with. So I didn't really feel like that was a gotcha moment. He was reading it. Um, and like he was just kind of like, yeah, the left like I'm sure that's probably what Charlie wrote all the time. Um, I just didn't feel like that was just strong enough of an opening. And mind you, think about it, a debate strategy with when you're dealing with a woman. Not only is she a woman, she's a black woman. Black women, y'all know how I'm trying to unblack. But you know they got all the sauce, right? And so Candace Owens is a black woman. And then she's pregnant, right? And and so you coming in there level-headed and reading when we know that that's not even his normal debate strategy. I feel like he already, that to me was a lose. Was a lose. Because she then comes back and she gives her opening statement. And her opening statement was sincere. Here we go.
I just want to get to the substance of the debate, and we'll just speak to the audience. I have obviously had an audience since we've been covering this case. People know that there was a personal friendship between me and Charlie.
She's so shady. Yeah, she's
and
so shady. She kept talking about like he's a nobody and he does that. She's like, I've had an audience. Okay, Candace. Stop being yeah, she's so shady. Go ahead.
and diminishing the pursuit of something that makes sense regarding what happened on September 10th. By throwing it to, this is just people who are conspiracy theorists. These are people who are just trying to generate clicks. I don't think that people should be satisfied by that. I want people to remember that it's important to think. We've been lied to by the government a great many times over, I mean, just the last couple of years, if you just think of the things that we've learned about our government. And I do want to say this, what's been the most disturbing element, I think, for everyone is that not only does the narrative not make any sense, which I'm going to demonstrate, I don't need to waste time with the preamble going through the points or trying to insult you or pretending that I've been running a podcast saying it's just dreams and vibes like I'm Miss Cleo. And that's the reason why it's taking so many influencers. It looks like $1 billion industry of influencers to dispute everything Candace says. It's not because I'm on my platform saying I had a dream last night. I don't think that I think that diminishes you as an argument, obviously.
And I think that that's fair, you guys. I think the right has to get smart. Like, you're basically calling the 6 million people that are subscribed to her dumb, right? Like, they're just listening to her, and you're just not going to win. You're not going to win that. She is bringing up what would be plausible if it was anybody but her, right? I don't agree with it, y'all. I don't. But you saying that she's only bringing up dreams and vibes, or people that says, "Oh, she had a dream." That's not what she's saying. She's saying in her intimate relationship with Charlie, these are the things that came about. Y'all are trying to discredit her. There's plenty of things to discredit her on. That's not it, right? There's plenty of things to say, "Hey, Candace, you're way off base with this." Her like saying that 6 million people are subscribed to her channel because they're dumb. I think you're just not going to win that way. I really don't.
Obviously, we have presented a lot of evidence. You just presented a text message and said, this is evidence. Well, that's how this entire thing began. You're talking about how Israel got into the conversation. It was because immediately after Charlie died, one of the first things we saw was this push to make us all think and remember how much he loved Israel. It's because the prime minister of Israel, who's fighting like a 27-front war, felt that he needed to come do a little mini tour and to be, strangely, to state that I did not kill Charlie Kirk when nobody was having that thought that I can remember.
They were. I remember. So that's why I'm saying she's disingenuous, because I remember when he was shot, people were saying that it was I mean, there's a subset of people, whether it be left or right, that blames the Jews for everything. So Benjamin Netanyahu, understanding that you have to win the war in media. That's why I love President Trump. Is Benjamin Netanyahu, understanding that you have to win the war in media, came out and he wasn't important enough to say, "Hey, I don't know where these Israel conspiracies are coming from." He was smart enough. And y'all got to forget, he had a relationship with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was like a public figure. So she's disingenuous, and I feel like Andrew is not like knocking these points off. Like she's making it seem like you guys are the ones that are questioning. No, Candace, like immediately after, Benjamin Netanyahu felt the need to come out and say that Israel had nothing to do with it because y'all were blaming Israel. And I believe that he was rightfully so to come out and say it because of Charlie Kirk's own words in a lot of different conversations. And I don't think I think he played it safe. Let's keep watching. He was playing it so safe, and it was frustrating for me because I'm like, dude, you got nothing to lose.
Remember, nobody was going, I wonder if Bibi Netanyahu killed Charlie Kirk. And then we had a round of influencers who lied and said Charlie was not changing on Israel, that he wasn't having any disagreements regarding that topic, that the day he died, he just loved Israel so much. And I demonstrated via a text message, which you just mentioned, and you're now contextualizing and pretending it was just about Tucker Carlson, which is not true. It was a part of a broader shift that Charlie was having over the last, I would say, actually on your show, it began since October 7th, which is when I began asking myself more questions about Israel as well. And so, yeah, when all of these things happen in the immediate aftermath, and then I drop a text message after everyone is denying that, Tucker Carlson then comes out and confirms the conversations that he had with Charlie. Megyn Kelly then comes out and confirms the private conversations that she had with Charlie. People then begin to ask a reasonable question, which is, why are we lying about this?
So, you guys, this to me was a point where I believe that like the right has something to hide about Charlie Kirk. You guys remember I said you don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to make you think. Charlie Kirk, I love Charlie. Let me preface by saying that I loved Charlie Kirk, okay? However, Charlie Kirk was a Gen Zer. That let me help that make sense to you. Sometimes these Gen Zers, they're young and they don't understand how the world works, okay? They would like everything to be kumbaya, sit and hold hands. And after October 7th, when we saw what Iran, I mean not Iran, what Gaza had did to the Israelis, it pulled on the heartstrings of a lot of younger people, a lot of women, because nobody likes war. Nobody likes war. Nobody likes killing. Nobody likes any of those things. And when I watched Charlie Kirk on the PBD podcast start to ask questions about Israel out loud, I was like, wow, okay. I remember him specifically saying, was there a stand down order? So if there's a stand down order, then you're essentially saying that Israel basically kind of set this up. I don't believe that they did. And there was no evidence that saying that they did. He went on and he said, "Oh, well, it's Israel's a fortress. How did this happen? I don't know how it happened. And honestly, I'm not interested in how it happened. What I am interested in is I feed you, I give you water. Israel takes care of the Gaza Strip and make sure that they have water and food and all of that. And y'all decide that y'all going to attack and kill thousands of my people. I don't need to know anything else." And so to me, sometimes younger people and sometimes Gen Zers or women look at that and say, oh my God, I'm so I understand that thousands of Israelis were killed, but why are y'all trying to genocide, quote unquote, genocide Gazans? Well, you're lucky that I don't just obliterate everybody there, because if you put if you put one hand on any of my Israeli people, they had the right to retaliate. Full stop. If you ain't want the smoke, I don't know what happened with the hand gliders and all of that. You came in hand gliding, you killing people, then you should have got all the smoke. And that's the way I believe. Now, I recognize that maybe Charlie, because he's a little bit young, you guys didn't understand that that's just the way that the world works. I think a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And I'm going to show something to you guys a little bit later, but they don't want to hear that if you come at my people, I get to control how I respond. And I don't care. You can call it a genocide. You can call it whatever you want to call it, whatever you want. But me, as the president of this nation, I get to respond how I want to respond. Now, you got to remember, Charlie Kirk is still talking to people like Candace, still talking to people like Tucker. I told y'all, Tucker's from California, you guys. Tucker is from California. He cosplayed as a conservative for enough years, and he's just not, okay? He's from California. He's a socialist. Everything that comes out of his mouth is, oh, well, why isn't the government taking care of me? Y'all, we don't believe that, because we recognize that anything the government does, it is with our money. We all recognize that. But unfortunately, Tucker in his big age hasn't recognized that yet. He sounds like a female a lot of times. Like, it's like, Tucker, you understand how there's winners and losers. There's people in power and there's people who are not. I'm sorry. Since the beginning of time. All y'all Christians out there, when we talk about in Genesis, when God says go over and possess the land, he tells the Israelites to go over and possess the land. None of y'all think about the poor Canaanites that were there, and they just basically got their land taken. Oh, it's only when the white man, sorry. It's only when the white man is possessing the land. But y'all shout, scream, and cry when God says go over and possess the land. Y'all just don't think it should be done with white folks. White folks shouldn't possess the land. Got it. You see how ridiculous this is? And so Tucker, as a 50-something-year-old man, should understand that this is just the way that the world works. And I don't believe, as much as I love Charlie Kirk, he didn't understand that. So him feeling sorry for Gaza, I don't feel sorry for Gaza. I don't feel sorry for Iran. I don't. Why? Because I want to win. I want my children to have the best life possible. And the way that you do that is expanding the American empire. Why? Because they have American birth certificates. Period. I'm sorry. Sue me. But that's just the way that the world works. So, going back to the interview, Candace Owens is basically saying, hold on. So Candace Owens is basically saying that Charlie was changing his mind on Israel. It was nothing to change your mind. It was nothing to change your mind on Israel. It was nothing. What are you changing your mind about? And that's where I feel like Charlie Kirk allowed himself to be manipulated by these women around him, by these softies, by these Megyn Kellys and these Candace Owens. Maybe if he stopped being friends with Candace Owens, then maybe he would be alive today. Because people like Candace Owens is going to get you killed. That's just the truth, y'all. Whether you like it or not. People like Candace Owens, people like Tucker Carlson, a weak man, people like Megyn Kelly, they get you killed. These are world affairs, you guys. And so Charlie Kirk going out there with his massive platform, as much as I love him, going out there and saying, I'm changing my mind on Israel. The Jews are bullying me. Like, as small as that sounds to you and I, that can mean death on a world stage. Can I get an amen in the chat? And I love Charlie. I do. I'm definitely a fan, and I have a lot of respect for him. But sometimes these young people don't understand how the world works. And so if you ask me who killed Candace, if you ask me who killed Charlie or who's responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk, I would say it's Candace. She didn't kill him, but she's probably more responsible for his death than Israel is. Stop it, chick. Stop. You're doing too much. Like, these people will get you killed. Sorry, going on.
If they were forthcoming with that and they had said, hey, yeah, Charlie was starting to ask questions. I think after October 7th, it's reasonable that people are starting to re-examine our relationship with Israel. We wouldn't.
Do you understand how crazy that is? Gazans go over and kill thousands of Israelis, and Israel attacks them, and you're questioning Israel? What? Do you see how do you see how crazy that is? Do you see how crazy that is? Oh, we're starting to examine our relationship after Israel starts to try to obliterate the people who tried to obliterate them. Women, weak men will get you killed, y'all. Thank you, Oxidine Antonio. Yes. Thank you. Am I preaching good?
Be here today, but it has been lie after lie after lie, debunk after debunk after debunk. Yes, I did share that I had a dream that Charlie was betrayed. It's not a dream anymore. It's a reality. I look at what the organization has become, the people that they are partnering with, the lies that they are telling, the extraordinary people that they're sending out to say that I hadn't speak to Charlie since 2018, and it begins to look like a conspiracy. And just as a historical fact, that entire term was created by the CIA to gaslight people.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Her with the CIA and all this crap. So she says that Charlie was betrayed. And this is where I feel like um I don't know if Andrew wasn't prepared, or I think that he just probably wasn't that interested. She's basically saying that she knows that Charlie was betrayed. She had a dream that Charlie was betrayed. If Charlie was betrayed by anybody, he was betrayed by your mouth, Candace. Your mouth is what he was betrayed by. You're showing his private text messages where he was probably trying to balance your friendship and his friendships with other people, which is what a lot of powerful people do. And you coming out here and saying this and talking to other people and making him feel like he had to choose, instead of saying, hey, friend, I encourage you to go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm not going to deal with Israel. I don't really like it. However, I recognize that you have a difference of opinion and you have friends with this pro-Israel cause, and I don't want to deter you from that. When men are friends with women and women don't understand the way the world works, and Charlie was very young, so he probably didn't understand the way the world works intimately, um, as much as probably a President Trump or Marco or Pete Hegseth, then he will buy into the, oh, I'm so sorry, poor Gazans. This is So if Charlie was betrayed, it was probably by your mouth, sis. And I feel like these are points where I feel like Andrew could have harped on.
After the assassination of JFK. So it's not exactly one that makes me nervous. Like calling somebody a conspiracy theorist is essentially saying that they demand further answers and they're not accepting the Fed slop. So I'm grateful that you came today. I don't need to, like I said, take cheap shots and discuss your manner of debate or your strategy. And I'm also grateful that you shared that you had that text message today, because everybody watching knows that I have been demanding not a debate, just a open conversation with Turning Point USA.
So this is where I feel like Andrew should have got an attitude. The whole demanding. Who the hell are you, Candace? I've been asking this, you guys, since last year when Charlie died. Who the hell are you? You're not his wife, although probably you want to be. You're not his family member. You're not his sister. You're not his brother. And she's going out there like these arrogant black bitchs. And I demand answers. Who the hell are you? If you want answers, sis, run for office. Become the president. If you want answers, sis, become become a a police officer. like you're sitting on a podcast saying I demand answers. And mind you, I understand that we have a free press, and I understand that the people have the power. The people have the power, right? But I also understand how the world works, you guys. They're not going to tell regular citizens everything that they demand about this case. That's just not how it works. That's not how it works. Should it work that way? I don't think it should. I really don't. Because you remember the movie when he was like, "You can't handle the truth." That's how I kind of feel. I kind of feel like a lot of times people like Candace, I demand answers. Like, who are you? Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. That's your answer. What next? Right? I mean, am I off? Am I off basis, y'all? But that's what I want to. Charlie Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. You demand answer. I demand answers. Girl, sit your pregnant behind. George, come get your wife. George, come get your wife. Come get her. I've been demanding answers. I've been demanding answers from Turning Point. I've been demanding answers from the Fed. We're not accepting the Fed slop. Girl, sit your pregnant behind down somewhere before you get hurt, little lady. That's how a lot of people need to be talking to these chicks. Sit your pregnant behind down. Send your husband. Maybe I'll talk to him. Send George and maybe I'll talk to him. Like, how dare you? This stuff like this will get you killed. And poor Charlie. Poor Charlie didn't even realize it. Okay. All right. So I did feel like there was a few gotcha moments. Here we go.
Hard evidence. They don't have to put people on the
I
trial.
agree, they
swear
don't
them
have
in.
to.
But no. That's why the entire hearing was basically hearsay. Officer Bagley
But
was
not
saying
all of it, like I said.
the overwhelming majority.
Again, no
I mean,
dispute.
outside of the one
But
that you don't want to give. Please don't cut me off.
Though.
Outside of that is what's in dispute. It
It's
means
not.
that your entire brand of saying you don't have evidence falls apart when the entire preliminary hearing is based off of hearsay. In fact, Lance's testimony before they had about an hour debate, actually maybe it was more than an hour debate before he sat, and they said this is not going to be allowed. You wouldn't even be allowed to do this. We'd be able to cross-examine him. The questions that they're asking Lance are all leading. And what did he say? Well, I'm the magistrate under Utah Constitution, 1102. It is my job to allow all of this so we can see if the state has enough here that we can then move to a trial, which will then, they would not allow this stuff. They would say we get to cross-examine Lance. Lance
But
just
you're
can't
arguing
willy-nilly
things I'm not disputing.
but the entire substance of your argument is that people can't infer off of evidence.
No,
That's what you're saying
it's
to
not.
me. When you say Candace,
Here,
you
I'll
can't
give
talk
you the
about the degraded
argument
prince, which is
now.
a fact.
Yeah, I'm not
and then
saying
infer
that.
off of that
Didn't say that.
Tyler could have been a patsy.
You're just
telling
making stuff up. So here's
I'm not
what the
making stuff
position
up.
is.
I'm
I'm
not making
asking
stuff
this.
up.
By the way,
I'm
I have Rule
saying
1102
that
ready
I
if you
think
want to
you.
read
Let's
it.
pull that up. Let's pull that up. I'm
1102.
doing exactly what the state did.
Okay.
I'm looking at a piece of evidence, and I am saying.
But you're not showing me how you get there
Can you
from the
describe to
inference.
the audience what
Yes.
Rule 1102
So
means?
just so everybody who's watching this at home understands what I am saying, even if he doesn't. What Andrew is arguing is that I don't have the right to extrapolate from
Never
a
made that
fact
argument.
like
Just making it up. Just purely making it up. I'm asking based on
Andrew.
based on
Can I
your
show my evidence? You just showed yours. Reliable hearsay.
You'll get a chance.
Reliable hearsay in criminal preliminary examinations. The entire preliminary hearing that you just saw was on the basis of reliable hearsay. And what that means essentially is the people who are making the statements can just say, Patrick told me that he did this on Monday. Patrick's not here. And that is, they can allow that into the hearing. That's just because it's just meant to be probative. And so it's the state saying, here's what we have inferred. So you are allowed to take a piece of evidence and then you are allowed to infer off of that evidence. Okay. Case in
Thing
point,
that
that's a
nobody's
demonstration that's a demonstration of what I just did. I said the prints were the most degraded off of Tyler Robinson. And from that, what I am inferring is that it's plausible that Tyler Robinson was set up.
That doesn't. That's the point in contention.
That's not a point in contention.
That's the point in contention.
It's not a point in contention. If you're saying it's a
it
point,
is the point in contention.
It's not the point in contention. I'm telling you that was what the entire hearing allowed for. So the evidence that he is describing,
but we're asking you
that he is using to argue his case, is all based on inference, not fact.
So okay, so they got into this back and forth about the prints being the most degraded, and I feel like he missed a key opportunity, because think about it. If his prints are the most degraded, then most likely Tyler Robinson wiped off the gun, or he wiped off where he was where he was holding it. You get what I'm saying? So I felt like that was easy. And I don't know why Andrew didn't go there. Like, yeah, okay, you're saying that he's most likely a patsy because his prints were the most degraded. I think it's most likely that he did it because if the prints were left on the gun by those other people, I think it was like his dad and some other people, when they didn't have any reason to get rid of their prints because they didn't shoot it, where Tyler Robinson had a reason to get rid of his prints. That's why they were the most degraded. That's why they were the most wiped off. That's why they were the most unable to see. I think the point that she's arguing is that the print should not be admissible because Tyler Robinson's were the most degraded and there were other people that had more prominent prints on there. Either way, I feel like Andrew, like, how'd he miss that? I don't know. I know being in it is a lot different. She had the home court advantage. She's the pregnant black chick, like, so, but that to me was easily explainable. Me and my husband even had like kind of a back and forth about it. And I was like, his Tyler Robinson having the most degraded prints. Of course he had the most degraded prints because he was the one that was holding it. He was the one that shot it. First thing that he's going to do is wipe off where he held it. Duh. That's me. I don't know. I feel like Andrew missed that. Let's keep going.
Great.
Inference, not facts. So what they are inferring off of the facts.
So again, we're going to take this, and I'm just going to even grant it because it's irrelevant. I'm asking how you get to the inference that even if you dispute that piece of evidence, that means patsy. I'm looking for the logical chain for how you get to that inference.
What I am telling you is it's the exact same way that when you tweeted, I think that this evidence is overwhelming. When they say that looks like Tyler Robinson's car, he drives a similar car, okay? They are inferring that that's Tyler Robinson.
Can you walk me through the inference so that I understand?
It's not a fact. It's not a fact. When you show a blurry image, which you kept citing that we have images.
I'm talking about your inference that the fingerprints, even if they're degraded, equals patsy. How do you get that inference?
I didn't say it equals patsy. I think it is enough evidence that it should be explored, which is exactly what this preliminary was in the inverse.
That's not in dispute. What's in dispute is when you said, I'm using this as evidence that he could have been a patsy. I'm asking, how do you get the inference to patsy from that?
Because what I am saying is that it shows that somebody else had more DNA presence on that gun than Tyler Robinson did. So it is plausible, which is all they're doing. They're presenting plausibility based off of the facts, okay? It is plausible that somebody just took his gun and put it there. That's it.
Is there equally...
that's how it works.
And is there equally 100 other plausible explanations?
I think that's the reason why most people are exploring when things don't make sense.
Got it.
So yes, at the
So he says it equally is 100 explanations. Okay, you got to draw those for us, Andrew. Like, come on, like you got to draw, like, so I was just so disappointed in his debate performance.
Beginning of that, this is how the court process works.
So
just so we're clear,
if there's 100 other plausible explanations, then Candace, why is it that we should go with this idea that it was a patsy?
I'm not saying that we should go with the idea that it was a patsy. I am saying that there is.
I thought that was the whole defense, your whole claim today.
My whole claim was that there is more evidence that he has set up as a patsy.
How does that equal evidence of patsy?
I don't know how many times I can say this. Like I'm saying that I am using the exact same mechanism that you are accepting for some reason in the Utah courtroom.
Yeah.
Right. To say, I'm going to look at the evidence and I'm going to infer an alternative theory. So you just saw the states and you're accepting it. And they have not presented any concrete facts. You listed on your own Twitter that what you found to be convincing was something that looked like his car pulled into the driveway, a blurry image.
No, I didn't.
A standard white guy coming up the steps that could literally be anyone.
This never happened.
Can we get a fact check on that? Can we pull up his tweet where he goes over
I didn't
the
say that's what convinced me.
When you actually didn't say it's what convinced me, but you said this is the evidence that you found to be overwhelming, and you named, I believe, actually 5 things. I think you said it was his car. You said it was.
Well, there's multitudes of things that I find.
You just said you didn't say
evidence.
it, so we're going to get a fact check on that. You did.
Go ahead.
You said the blurry images coming up the steps. Quite literally, when Officer Bagley testified, they talk about when I'm talking about making inference. This is the most I thought was the most absurd testimony I've ever heard. And pardon me, it was actually David Hull. They asked him a question. How did you know the guy in the maroon shirt was the same as the guy that came up the stairs later that was wearing the American flag black shirt? And he said, they're wearing the same shoes.
She laughs about that. But that's actually a way that people find out who committed crimes. People will change their clothes and leave on their shoes. And Andrew just kind of, Andrew, come on, help me out. Help me
Why
out.
is that absurd?
Andrew. He said,
that's how you decided these two are the same people. Oh, wow. What a scientific. They're both wearing Converses. Okay. That's an absurd thing to say. That is not
they're both wearing Converses, Candace. They're wearing the same Converses. Like, that's what, like, why Andrew just oh God, y'all. Andrew just backed off of this chick. But that's actually how they solve a lot of crimes. Is a lot of times you change your clothes and you leave on your shoes. I know that doesn't sound plausible to Miss Candace because she's just entering the crime solving world, you know? Like she's this expert investigator and she's like, thinks it's so ridiculous that, how did you know it was the same person? Because they were wearing the same shoes. That's ridiculous. Actually, if you read anything about crime solving or whatever, or people who commit crimes, they change their clothes and they leave on their shoes. And that's how people know that they're the exact same person. That's actually one of the ways that you find out. They forget to change their shoes. And so the way that Andrew is handling her with kid gloves, like, he was like, why is that absurd? Like, no, tell the audience. Andrew forgot that we're his audience, not Candace. We're his audience. And so she remembered that we're her audience. And I think that that's the biggest failure. Republican Tea Room, you said, Candace, thanks for not letting Charlie down. Go max against these $7,000 sellouts. I think she let Charlie down, Republican Tea Room. She let him down because she didn't understand how the world works. Charlie had friends that he betrayed. And sometimes when you out here in the game, yeah. I feel bad. Y'all don't have to agree with me, but just think about it. She is now saying and showing text messages of where he was talking smack about a lot of people behind their backs. And it's so sad that she wasn't a better friend to him. It's really sad. Okay. All right. Thank you for your comment, Republican Tea Room, though. Thank you. Ben Shapiro actually really talks about that. But yeah, like, so Andrew handled her with kid gloves with this moment, and I just kind of felt like
that these are the same people if we're both wearing Converses. That was what he said.
That is evidence,
Put him
y'all.
on the
Okay,
stand.
but I still don't understand how that would be absurd. If somebody,
It's an absurd thing.
for instance, if somebody were to change their clothes but keep the same shoes on, wouldn't you utilize the shoes to try to track that person? If
The
they were changing
idea
their
that on a
clothes?
college campus, two people wearing this totally different outfits, but both wearing Converses can't happen is such an absurdity that I don't even need to like argue that. I'm just going to let people deal. Why is it absurd? Just concede that point. Obviously, it's an absurd thing to say.
I'm not
I know
sure,
these are the same people
sure
because they're both wearing Converse.
Yeah, I'm not sure if in context that's what happened, but even if it is.
I'm not sure in context that's what happened. Yeah, that is what happened, and that's what happens in a lot of cases. Welcome to the world of crime solving, little lady. I'm telling you, you guys, if y'all watch any crime shows or crime scene, that is very plausible as to how they solve a lot of crimes. The person does not change their shoes. Oh, I just think that that's so absurd. Well, honestly, I don't care what you think. That's what Andrew should have said. I don't care what you think. You're not an investigator. You're not a police officer. So, Candace, it really doesn't matter what you think. And I'm sorry to your 6 million people. Here, I'm going to say it for everybody. It doesn't matter what Candace thinks. This is how a lot of crimes are solved. Welcome to the world of crime solving. And he's in the Army, so he should know this. Come on, Andrew, fight.
Can get a fact check on it.
But even if it is, again,
And it was
if
Hull.
we're utilizing inferences, whenever we're dealing with logic and we're dealing with making a logical inference, we're going to take the entire collaboration of evidence and then we're going to make inferences from that. You would do that with any type of logical proposition. Otherwise, you could never have a true or false claim.
But you just told me I couldn't.
So
do
when
that.
that never happened. You're just making stuff up. So anyway, when we're talking about logical inferences, what I'm looking for is the logical inferences that you have that Tyler Robinson's a patsy based on the totality of evidence that you have.
We can keep
Y'all.
going through your other evidence, but we should find his tweet where he lists the reasons that he was convinced.
So let's start with the 30-06. I think that's fine.
Your team's looking for. Do you remember how long ago that was?
The tweets of the 5. Did you delete it or no?
No,
Did
I
you
don't
delete
delete
tweets?
tweets.
Okay, cool. Just look for. He said
Unless I
it was his
misspell.
car. It was his. It was the car, and it was definitely the staircase photos, and it was when the trial was going on.
Okay, she has it. Perfect. If you got Skylar has it. If you want to pull it up so we can see it.
Somebody said, so give me the clear evidence right here. I want you to provide it right here. All I heard from the investigator was, we believe this to be Tyler Robinson. Is belief something you go as a fact? You wrote the car pulling in. That's a totally blurry image. Robinson getting out of it. You have no idea if that's Tyler Robinson. The fact.
And you don't know that it's not.
That he is seen 4 other times on camera. The fact being just a standard white boy with brown hair was seen walking up staircase. The DNA on the roof, we should discuss that. And on the screwdriver that he left behind, it's overwhelming, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not an exhaustive list.
Well, just so we're clear, you did.
Y'all see, he should have leaned in, guys. He said, that's not an exhausting list. What else do you need? I would have leaned in like, yup, that's all we need right now at the preliminary state. Period.
Tweet it.
But it's not an exhaustive.
Yeah,
well,
but just 5 seconds ago, you should concede.
You said I only said this one thing and said that was overwhelming, actually.
That's not what I said.
It is. You could even pull your own
did I
clip.
say that?
Can you fact check if that was said or not? I did not hear her say
So
that.
the thing that's funny here is like we still aren't getting to any of these inferences. So
why are you pivoting?
So
but just say you were wrong. It's cool to just say I was wrong. I didn't say it.
I'm not wrong. So back to the tweet aspect here. It was really funny. That's not an exhaustive list of why I find it.
I didn't say it was exhaustive. I just said you said it.
And on top of no.
It is an exhaustive list, and he should have leaned in.
No, you didn't. You said that I only said this one thing and then said based on that it's over. Well, I didn't. You didn't mention that I mentioned the screwdriver, DNA, all of these other things. You never mentioned any of that. So, no, you're actually incorrect there. But on top of that, moving over to the actual evidence itself.
Are you
yes, I'm okay. Anyway, back to the evidence
if you're
itself.
Okay.
Yes,
actually,
I'm
I'm glad you're asserting that you're
But
okay. I wasn't worried about your health. I'm just saying that I just said you tweeted this. You said no, I didn't. We got a fact check, and now you're like just gonna gaslight me and pretend that I said
there's no gaslighting.
It wasn't exhaustive. I never said that. I just said you did say this.
Zero gaslighting.
I didn't say you couldn't have said more, but I would like to address what you said in that tweet.
This is your time. If this is how you want to spend it.
See, I don't like this Andrew, y'all. I want the Andrew that called her a stupid bitch because she is. I mean, that's what she's being right now. Like she was being condescending. She was saying, "Oh, you're going to gaslight me and pretend you didn't say it." I think he should have leaned in. He said that he didn't think that the list was exhaustive. I thought it was. And I mean, like, I felt like he proved it, and she's just she and you guys, I recognize that she has the home court advantage. I think he's trying to be nice because he wants to come across as this nice guy, but nice guys finish last. Like, Andrew, go Max, like Candace, and just tell her, like, I don't know if it's your pregnancy brain or anything, but you literally said that I said it was because of the him getting out of the car. But there are several other reasons that made me think that it was Tyler Robinson, and we can talk about those. Like, and I recognize you guys being in the moment and being at her house. He didn't want to disrespect her, but he's got to be himself because she's being her snarky, sly self. He needed to be himself too, and he pulled back, and I think it cost him.
Interrogating my position, you can do it that way.
I'm just addressing what you asserted on your Twitter was like the hard evidence that convinced you was overwhelming. That's literally
That's
your debate
not what
claim.
you said. That's not actually, in fact, what happened in that exchange. I was here for it.
So what's your position here?
Yeah, so my position is that based on all of the evidence, which has been demonstrated, at least all the evidence to my knowledge, that I am actually not seeing anything that's compelling as an alternative theory. I'm not seeing anything which is convincing me of something otherwise than what the state is presenting as evidence. That's my position, if
Okay.
that's what you're asking me.
So just going back to what you did actually tweet, is it fair for me to ask questions about that?
Is that the only tweet you're going to ask me about?
Well, we're addressing your claim that the evidence is overwhelming, and this is a tweet where you listed what you felt was overwhelming. I think that's fair,
but not
right? I feel like
sure,
that's fair,
but not exhaustive. Just so you know.
And I never said it was
Okay.
exhaustive.
Go
even
ahead.
though you said I did.
Sure, whatever you want.
But yeah, so going back to that, all of that, as you say to me, well, Candace, why are you addressing and making inferences off of the testimony?
No, I never asked you why. You're making inferences. I asked you how, with the inference you made, you got to the conclusion.
Okay, so I would like to know how you got to the conclusion, and I'm just going to throw it right back at you because for some reason you permit yourself to do it, and that's what I'm demonstrating is that you permit yourself to do it, and then you say when I do it, it's a conspiracy, right?
No.
How are you able to infer off of blurry staircase images that is Tyler Robinson?
Yeah, so in that particular case, what you do is you take that evidence, you combine it with other evidence. So it's not just that Tyler Robinson is seen in the staircase.
Why are you calling him Tyler Robinson in the staircase? That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, because, I mean, we'll just use this. If you don't agree that that's Tyler Robinson, then you would just have to humor me. I think it is, so I'm using the name.
But why?
Why did he say that so proper, you guys? Because he could have literally said, "Why are you saying it's not?" I'm calling it Tyler Robinson because I'm debating my claim that it is Tyler Robinson. So, like, he had no kind of fight with her. Why are you calling it Tyler Robinson? Well, why are you not calling it Tyler Robinson? Like, I can call it whatever I want to call it. I'm defending the state's position, and the state calls it Tyler Robinson. Like,
Why do you think it is? Because you make everybody, you call them
literally
conspiracy
what I'm trying
theorists.
to explain to you.
Okay.
So if you're asking for my inference, why I think it's Tyler Robinson is because Tyler Robinson said in his text messages, you'll be able to see me on security footage at the campus. Said it in his own messages. On top of that, twigs, yes, you can pull them up if you want to fact check that. He did say.
Yeah, I would. I'm sorry. I actually think I really did miss that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't remember him saying you're going to see me in.
I'm
Can
paraphrasing, but
we
it was
pull that
close
up?
to
Yeah,
it.
I think
And
that's
by the
not
way,
right.
Twigs himself said that he
You're
had
gonna see me on the staircase.
he had some maybe a tiny bit of doubt, but it sure looked like Tyler Robinson inside of this various surveillance footage that he saw.
So Lance, sorry.
Hang on. So there's multiple reasons why it is that I believe that that's Tyler Robinson, not just because of blurry footage.
Did you have a dream? Just kidding.
No, it's because I combined multitudes of evidences.
Okay, so let's address those multitude of evidences. The first one we're working on a fact check on because I do not ever remember him tweeting. That's me in the staircase.
Y'all, that's really big. That's really big. It's really big. Like, this is someone who obsessed about this case and didn't know that Tyler Robinson actually said that.
Offered to rebut the express implied charge that the declarant recently fabricated or acted in recent improper influence or motive in testifying. So then, wouldn't that mean that a bunch of this wasn't hearsay?
It's stuff.
That's not what he said.
He did actually. You can get a fact check on that.
Yeah, that's
Skylar,
not.
I think
He
you
said
pulled
much
it up
more
if you
than
want
that.
to. So a couple things we have. We have Rule 801, Tyler's messages, that says it's not hearsay. But first, go to what Candace is asking about. Skylar, I think you have it.
Here we go.
You just texted me if you want to pull it up. You said you have the text. If we can put that up on the screen. Thank you.
It was me. Look at the pictures from the surveillance footage. It was me. Okay. I literally said to you, it's not an oof. I said I didn't remember this. And I'm
But that's a big problem that she didn't remember that. And that's a big win for Andrew. And the fact that Andrew just said, oof, is the reason why it looks as though it wasn't a big deal, because he could have then put her on her hind legs and says, oh, well, you know everything about this case. You don't even remember that a key part is that the nigga testified that it's him in the staircase. Like, he should have, he should have drilled that home. He was being too kind to her because she drilled what she feel like he didn't know. Don't y'all think that that's pretty important to not know? That's huge. I think I even knew that. And I'm not even following this case. I remember. Now, what she probably would have said is that it's too on the nose. He's confessing, because she went on to say that she believes he's a patsy because Tyler Robinson is considered to have a high IQ, and him having a high IQ and him texting his total confession is just, is not likely. But whatever. That's why they're having this discussion, is because there are sides that say a confession is a confession. Whatever. Tyler Robinson confessed. He said it's him in the staircase. So I'm taking it Tyler Robinson for his word. And I don't feel like Andrew really, really drove that.
I'm happy to have a fact check on that. Okay. I didn't call for the fact check saying you're wrong. I literally said I don't remember that from the
Well,
text
I'm just
messages.
saying to you, I'm trying to be concise for you.
And then also bring the 801 that you just said. What was the other one?
Yep, the 801, Tyler messages saying it's not hearsay, if you have that as well. There you go.
Wait, what are we saying is not hearsay? I thought
Statements
you said
that
the
are not
messages.
hearsay. A statement that meets the following conditions is not hearsay.
It was hearsay. They said it in the trial.
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay. Is consistent with the declarant's testimony, and the declarant denies having made the statement or has forgotten, or is consistent with the declarant's testimony and is offered to rebut the express implied charge that the declarant recently fabricated or acted in recent improper influence or motive in testifying. So then, wouldn't that mean that a bunch of this wasn't hearsay?
So the issue with his
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Would that mean that a bunch of this wasn't hearsay?
So the opposing party, which down the line, like I said, they talked about this for about an hour and a half, and they discussed how if Lance was in court and he was giving his first party, giving his testimony as the opposing party, whatever, all of this would be fine. They had an issue with how the questions were being asked and that they were not allowed to cross-examine him. Mm-hmm. So that is why his video testimony would not be accepted in the main trial. And what I said to you is this entire preliminary hearing is under Utah's 1102. So they are allowed to just use hearsay. And
No,
so the
you didn't
judge,
say
when
that.
he
You said most of it was hearsay, actually.
Yeah,
the
it
overwhelming majority.
Well, I'm leaning now into my opinion that some scientific aspects, which they kept asserting, like the federal rule 403 or 402, some of those parts were quite
Sounds
scientific.
like you're backtracking quite a bit.
No, I'm not backtracking at all. What do you feel like? Let me help you. Where do you feel like I'm backtracking? It literally was done under Utah's 1102.
Yeah, nobody disputed that.
Okay.
What the dispute was is whether or not most of it was overwhelmingly hearsay.
Yes,
is that the case?
it was. Yes, that's a fact. I'm not backtracking on that at all.
And what are the things?
How many times did you? I mean, if you watch the video here, it's like they constantly. I'm 1102, 1102, 1102, 1102, 1102, and the reason for that is because it's allowed. I'm not saying it's illegal. It's allowed at this stage, but I'm just reminding you that when you're going to sit across from someone and your claim is going to be, "Where is your hard evidence? This is what I heard, and I agree with what I'm watching." You are watching the state put on a hearsay preliminary hearing, and all of those things are not going to be allowed, right? Even when they got into witness statements and things of that nature, there's a reason why they swear you in and they say you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. Did you, write this statement? So it's the overwhelming majority of what you saw was hearsay because other people were representing other people's statements. They were saying they had conversations. We don't know where it came from. All allowed at this stage, okay? But it's hearsay. So
but even a lot of that stuff may not fall under hearsay under what we just read, right?
But the evidence that you're speaking about, like when you say that we're going off vibes, you don't know Tyler Robinson, okay? His boyfriend is not 100% it was him. So I'm going back to your points that you made that this was overwhelming evidence for you. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, overwhelming just means
you can't consider another option that there could have been another white guy wearing Converses on campus?
Yeah, do you agree with me that I said that what overwhelming means to me is that it's just very convincing to me?
Yeah, and I find it to be completely unconvincing.
And that's fair. I understand that
I looked at those blurry photos that they presented and said, your statement on right now is that he's wearing Converses and he also that's just crazy.
But these aren't the evidences that I find the most convincing.
Well, you said that in your Twitter.
That's not the only thing I've ever said on my Twitter about this case.
Right, but the question that was asked of you was pretty direct.
Yeah.
Right? What did you find
this
to
is
be...
not an exhaustive list of all the things that I find
Well, that's not what you said in the tweet. You can tweet longer, too. It's not like we're limited now to 240 characters anymore.
So anything that I tweet and all other tweets that I've ever made are now excluded because I used the word overwhelming in this one.
Well, Andrew, you're not telling us... Okay. Andrew is forgetting that we're his audience, not Candace. You're not going to convince Candace. You're trying to knock out her instead of grasping her audience. Someone says in 3 hours, in 3 hours, the only thing he got, the theory is that Tyler is a patsy, as he is being threatened, controlled. When they went to confess, that video got deleted. That's suspicious and now is hearsay. Can you expand, Alejandro Fuentes? I don't understand. I don't understand what context you're making. Can you just expand a little bit? But I think that and mind you, the burden of proof, in my opinion, because he spent $300,000, is him to tell us why she's not right. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he missed some key moments to be like, okay, you're saying that he's a patsy because of this. Well, let me tell you why I believe that he's not a patsy. And why I believe that there's overwhelming evidence. Instead, he just kind of left himself open to let her kind of talk. And that's why I think that he's getting thrashed. Because he's like, oh, it's not just that one tweet. Okay, then tell us the other tweets then. He went into this just grossly unprepared. And she wouldn't have been able to do this with a Steven Crowder. She would not have been able to do this with it because it's one thing that Steven Crowder, he don't play. He be having evidence. Let's fast forward a little bit to the hot spots that everybody are talking about. There's another piece in here real quick, you guys.
Some of the artifacts that Charlie was wearing were immediately returned to Erica. That's absurd. That is absurd. Everything should be in evidence. When you learn that the car that they carried Charlie in to go to the hospital, they had immediately towed, cleaned, and back up for resale, that's absurd. that should be sitting in evidence. And any police officer that you speak to will say, or a person that's been involved in a crime will say, I didn't get my stuff back for years. That had nothing to do with anything. It was just around. And they kept it into evidence until the trial was over, and it has to be approved. I think somebody
Let me
said
back up
by
a little bit.
so she was the forensics for the FBI. And then she says she gets a call on the 13th, and they for the prosecution saying it's not them and it's not the SBI. It's
So let me set it up for you guys. So she's basically now explaining why she believes he's a patsy. And she says all the reasons she believes he's a patsy, but I feel like Andrew backed away from all the reasons that he felt like she wasn't. She now goes in and says it. Now mind you, whether you agree with Candace or not, she had the burden of proof to say, this is why I think it. And he just let her rip. Let's go.
it's the FBI that's holding on to things. Is the FBI took everything. The FBI took the gun. The FBI took initially the screwdriver. And then when I heard testimony about the things that they found that were suspicious, example being the backpack, that's something that really bothers me, that they say they traced the shooter, they traced the route that he went on, and then there was an abandoned, we know it looks like he's wearing some sort of a backpack. We know that there was an abandoned backpack found at the bus stop in front of a library, and they felt that this should be taken into evidence. They took it. The FBI, this was the testimony of Amanda Baker, I believe her last name is, but you might want to fact check that because I think I'm blending last names. She was the forensics for the FBI. And then she says she gets a call on the 13th, and they stop testing on this backpack because they find that the backpack actually belongs to somebody on Charlie's team. But if you know the map of the layout of the campus, you're going, well, what the hell are they doing all the way up? This is nowhere near anywhere. And by the way, that's not an acceptable answer for why you just gave it back. That's not.
You don't get to decide what's an acceptable answer. That's what I'm saying when Andrew should have said, well, what do you think is an acceptable answer? Because if you want a better answer, then I suggest you join law enforcement in Utah, Candace. You don't get to decide what's an acceptable answer. It's acceptable to me, maybe not acceptable to you, but you're not Charlie's wife, are you? And I know that bothered you. I mean, like, she's being snarky, so I feel like he could have been snarky. He's just letting her rip. Keep going.
That's like, why would you give it back? You're acting like no one's ever been killed by somebody on their team before, right? So I found that to be very strange that it was on the exact route that the alleged gunman ran, and that their excuse was, we just gave it back because we heard that this belonged to somebody on Charlie's team. So that to me is, this is why the investigation itself feels underwhelming. When you learn, and this is completely crazy to me, that some of the artifacts that Charlie was wearing were immediately returned to Erica. That's absurd. That is absurd. Everything should be in evidence.
You don't get to decide. They're just letting her rip, y'all. Just letting her rip. You don't get to decide. And I saw Myron that said, yeah, he never had a good follow-up question. Exactly. Raven Madness, he was driving me crazy because he's letting her rip. And Myron actually said that this is why timed responses need to be acted when these types of situations are happening, because she's just going off. Candace, oh, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Then join law enforcement. Join law enforcement then. You don't get to tell law enforcement what is acceptable and what's not. They make the best decisions that they can at the time. If you feel like it's not acceptable, I feel like it's very acceptable. If there's nothing to see here, we looked at it. You don't know what we looked at. You don't know what we looked at. You don't know what we investigated. This guy who I met on a bus one day, he told me that his sister-in-law brother and mother and sister-in-law brother's mother died, and she didn't get her stuff back until 15 years later. Like, sis, maybe they have more technology now. Maybe things are faster now. I don't know. I haven't committed a murder. I don't know what's going on. But maybe they have ways of seeing what seeing evidence if it's in question or not faster. I don't know. But you sitting on the sideline playing Monday morning quarterback and you want to tell the police how to do their job. It doesn't work like that, Candace. That's what he should have said. Like, it's like cat got your tongue with him.
When you learn that the car that they carried Charlie in to go to the hospital, they had immediately towed, cleaned, and back up for resale, that's absurd. That should be sitting in evidence. And any police officer that you speak to will say, or a person that's been involved in a crime will say, I didn't get my stuff back for years. It
Okay.
had nothing to do with anything. It was just around. And they kept it into evidence until the trial was over, and it has to be approved. I think somebody said by the attorney general has to sign off on giving you those objects back. And we were told this is all fine. And we see, this is just one example, Erica holding the crucifix. That should be in evidence.
Andrew, wake up. Wake up, Andrew. Wake up, Andrew. You've been put to do a job.
Irrespective of if you feel bad for her and think she should have, have it and it's sweet, that should be in evidence. Immediately paving over the crime scene. Is this is like the craziest thing ever? This is like defies common sense. You immediately, and when you heard the guy who did it actually go up on a podcast and explain, I got the call. They said it was a paver emergency. I've never in my entire career heard of a paver emergency. They had already had someone come up and dig up the dirt. So by the time he got there on Sunday, the dirt had already been dug up for him to lay down pavers. That is what people are looking at and going, this is weird. There needs to be answers for why this was done. And he tells us the call came from the feds and the governor's office. UVU's washed their hands of it. And what he's saying sounds true because we heard during the testimony, one person described the regions of who was in control of everything. Mm-hmm. The feds were in control of the courtyard. So in order for anybody to have paved anything, that was federal territory, so to speak. I'm maybe not using that in the best cop term, but the feds were in control of the courtyard. So these are things that I think should be answered for. Why are we doing things differently than you would in any other criminal scenario of keeping the evidence until we know more, until we're confident, the various decoys, I did it. It just doesn't look right.
Okay, so go back to the question. So what would you need to see for you to say?
Something, if they had, I was expecting, here we have him, he took the shot, here it is. And then I'd be like, great, a clear image of him on the staircase where I'm like, that's definitively Tyler Robinson and he was on campus. We got nothing. We got literally nothing but hearsay of people saying.
But you basically get no case.
What?
You basically no case on planet Earth. You get the,
sure.
Oh, we got a picture.
Okay.
Here's him with the murder weapon.
Right.
Here's him taking the shot.
Most of this doesn't take place on a college campus that has surveillance everywhere.
Yeah.
One clear image of his.
But I don't understand when you're
his
asked,
car plates.
If you're
he responded to the most weirdest point that she was making.
Ask the question, what would it take to convince? It'd be the same question be asked to me. Andrew, what would it take to convince you that the oppositional is
Patsy.
True? Right?
Andrew, you didn't come to convince her. Y'all, am I wrong for this? He didn't come here to convince her. She can think whatever she wants. He came here to convince her audience that she is leading them down the wrong path. And he's just letting her rip. Because honestly, there's a lot that can be said as to why they did things differently. It was on a college campus. That could have had something to do with it. The fact that Charlie Kirk was a public figure, that could have had something to do with it. The fact that they might have had stronger technology, better investigative methods that they deployed for him. I'm just saying, if he is going there to make her look like she doesn't know what she's talking about, he's missing the opportunity, because she's allowing him to spew all of this, and people are like, oh, okay, maybe what she's saying is plausible because he's giving them no other alternative. And there's plenty of alternative. Everything that she's saying, there are alternatives to it. Why did they clean out the vehicle? Y'all, do you know what kind of vehicle he was probably in? it was probably bulletproof. It was probably special. It was probably like they had to. I don't know. And y'all, I'm not saying either way. I believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying that she's allowed to just spew all of this, and he's just letting her and not providing the audience with anything. Raven Madness, you said when he caught her, she turned snarky and laughed. When she thought she had a zinger, she looked to PBD for assurance. For what it's worth, Patrick was useless in debates. Ding, 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 you nailed it. So I don't think that Pat Bet David was useless. I think that Pat Bet David is very careful that he didn't want to seem partial, because y'all know that us conservatives are very critical of moderators. You know, like we get mad at moderators. Oh, look at that, you guys. We are very critical of them. And so I feel like PBD played it safe. He didn't want to seem like they were ganging up on Candace, and he didn't want to seem like he was defending either of them. So he kind of stayed out of it. And I feel like um, Andrew didn't put her on her heels, which he could have. Because you got to remind y'all, you got to remember Andrew, the one that stuck out his chest. And you come here and you just letting her talk.
Right? That he's a patsy or something like
Right.
that. Just good, clear, concise evidence that's been presented, right? And is being presented that I could go through and link all together to see if there's actually some clear picture of there being a patsy. That's what it would take from me.
Okay.
Just a good.
I don't disagree with
just
that.
a
We
good,
haven't heard the
hang on,
defense
just
respond.
a good evidentiary standard, and then of course I would change my mind.
Just to qualify this, so there is a possibility in the next few months that you may come out and say, guys, it's done. Tyler killed him. So you're saying yes to that.
Yeah.
I think it's very important for the audience here that from you.
Without question.
For you, is there anything that you could see for you to say, yeah, this guy was a patsy, the
Of
government was
course,
involved?
I'm going to always
Okay.
follow evidence.
Perfect.
So my whole thing is just this. It's really important to me. I don't mind people being truth seekers and justice searchers, and the internet has helped solve tons of crimes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? However, there's also people who, you know, they not only don't solve crimes, but they just come up with conjecture, and they what's called flooding the zone. You flood the zone with tons and tons of conspiracy-based ideas, and they go nowhere, right? And in fact, they actually take away from legitimate investigation. Now, I'm not even saying anybody here is purposely flooding the zone. That's not even the claim. All I'm saying is that the claims made absent, this is just me not being convinced by the state's evidence. Those become claims, and claims have to be defended. Just like mine have to be defended, yours have to be defended. And that's what we're going to get to now, yeah?
You want to get into it? Would you
Yeah.
guys like
Yeah,
to take
that
an ad break
just-
Go take
before
an
we
ad
come
break.
Take
back?
an ad break? Sure.
That y'all, that just wasn't sufficient. That wasn't sufficient. The issue, yeah, he made few attempts to help her. Sure, I get that. A few times though, I felt, yeah, I could see how she went to him and he felt necessary. But it's kind of hard, Raven Madness, um to not do it when Andrew's like not even fighting. He's not even fighting. He's like, oh well, you just flood the zone. Well, nigga, flood the zone. You flood the zone. You tell us what happened. You design it and say what the alternatives could have been. That's what he was like. He's like, I can be convinced. Well, Candace is not there to convince you. She's there to convince her audience that she has a reason that she feels like Tyler Robinson didn't kill. So you have the responsibility to tell her audience why you believe that he did. And I feel like he fell flat. Like I'm like really kind of annoyed by it, because even I could have done this, and I ain't no master debater. So then let's go to this part right here where that it's going viral, this part, and it's just like, come on.
Criticisms.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding still how that would make her complicit.
I don't have to keep answering the same question.
Okay,
So
but
let's
do you
let's
feel
get
like you
team
got
is
an answer
asking
to how
your-
it's complicit?
Your team is asking to play clips. So if we
Okay.
want to play
Okay, so they kept playing clips and then she made fun of it, which I felt like he just handled her with kid gloves. Look at this, you guys. This is the part that's going viral about the charges, right?
So would just if I may ask a question, is that permitted?
Go ahead.
Just so I also have clarity, since your basis has been evidentiary, you keep saying that you have evidence or like you are following evidence. Which one of the charges against, or all of them, do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
The specific charge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but of the 7 charges that he's being charged.
Yeah.
See, this is female, y'all. This is female. And he didn't call her out on exact yeah, like, okay, yeah. So, yeah, you said Andrew came across to me as not wanting to make enemies, and I think you're 100% correct. Get her audience to follow. Exactly. Like, for just the mere fact that you're there is you made enemies. You're questioning a black chick, Raven Matt. You're questioning her. And I feel like he should have not been afraid to make enemies at all. So this is very female. This is where I feel like PBD could have stepped in, because who remembers the charge, y'all? Like, really, the charges? Here,
Yeah. Can we list them real quick? I'll tell you exactly which ones. We'll pull them up.
Well, do you know any of the charges?
do you know any of the charges? No, I'm not obsessed with the case. I have a family, and I understand that you especially wish that you were Mrs. Kirk. And so you've probably remembered the charges like the back of your hand because you want to be Mrs. Kirk, Mrs. Candace Kirk. However, you're not. So, yes, let's pull up the charges. He should have leaned in. He should have leaned in. So what? You don't know the charges. So what?
He's up for it right now?
Yeah, of course. But I
Can you-
want to
can you
make sure
name
that we
one?
have them listed.
Yeah, but like can you name one? Because my general perspective is that you don't actually care about this case. You're not following
Is that
the
it?
case.
That's the
Yeah.
question. You're
Yeah,
just
but-
not
but, I mean,
following it
seems,
enough.
It seems pretty, like, if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should,
All
like,
right.
can you tell me one
Then let's do the
charge
counter.
that he's...
You can really
So yeah, okay, you said which is why he would only share the email on his channel. Tell me about that. Tell me. She was driving me crazy. It was exactly like the stuff that she was focusing on, and he wasn't putting her in her place. Raven Madness, like, it was just like, oh, you know the charges. Congratulations. Is what he should have said. He should have said, congratulations, Candace. You know all the charges. You passed the test. We already knew you were obsessed with Charlie. We know you're obsessed with this case, and I understand it. However, what I'm telling you is Tyler Robinson is going to be found guilty based on the evidence, whether you like it or not. Right? Like, he should have just leaned in.
yeah, no, this is a great gotcha.
No. You just got to ask me.
It
Please
wasn't
put
a
us out of
great gotcha.
context,
Yeah,
put me in the hot seat. So
Mhm.
please just answer the
This
question.
is fair.
Can
Name
you
all
name-
7
can
since
you-
you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
You name one.
Yeah, you name.
He shouldn't have said name all 7. I have not been following the cases closely, and this is not a pop quiz. We know you know all this. We know you know everything, Candace. We know you know everything. He literally should have said, we know that you're obsessed
Names
with
all 7.
Charlie.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
She just kept getting him on his heels. He should have leaned in and said, we know you know the times, the dates, the timelines. You know the charges. You know You probably know the person who typed up the charges in the office. You probably know everybody down at the DA's office. You know everything because you wish you were Mrs. Kirk. Let me tell you what I do know is you're obsessed. That's what he should have said. Let me tell you what I know, Candy Girl, is that you're obsessed. And Tyler Robinson is going to be found guilty based on the evidence. That's what I know. Why didn't he lean in, y'all? She's heavily invested. Exactly, Raven Madness. He should have leaned in on her. We know you know the charges, Candace. We know you know the charges. We know you know the DA's office. We know you know everything about this case because you wish you were Mrs. Kirk. We know you know. Oh God, he just missed an opportunity.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even. This is like
Name all 7.
and I.
Can you
think
name all 7?
I can.
Then do it.
Sure, you don't have to
Do
put
it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
you don't have
name
to
'em.
put your fingers up. I
Okay,
can
hang
do
on.
that.
Name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
The first charge is aggravated murder because that's what carries
Okay.
a death
So
sentence in the
murder.
state of Utah. No,
Next.
that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
It literally is murder. It literally is murder. Can we say that aggravated murder? And I recognize there's a distinction, you guys. There's a distinction between aggravated murder. One carries the death penalty and one doesn't, right? Okay, fine, that's fair. But to say aggravated murder is not murder, I feel like it was just cheap shots. And when she started throwing these cheap shots, it should have given him permission to start to throw cheap shots at her. Yeah, okay, aggravated murder. I get it. I recognize that there's a small distinction. We know you know all the details, Candace, because like I said, you want to be Mrs. Kirk. That's what he should have started being petty. The way that she was being petty, he should have used an opportunity to be petty to her too. We know you know all the details.
So just for people, no, I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people the difference of why that really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined,
Just
and because
avoiding
it
the
carries
question.
a death sentence. I'm going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're
I'm
just going to
waiting.
recognize that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work,
Yeah.
and you'll be better the next time you debate
I got
someone.
it. I
You
got it.
see how she's allowed to be snarky. But if he would have said, we know you know all the details of the case because you wish you were Mrs. Kirk. If he would have said that, it would have went viral. And he would have been called a jerk, but it's okay to be called a jerk. It's okay to be called a jerk. He's already called a jerk. He goes on the whatever podcast and he's a jerk. And the way he handled her with kid gloves is just so bothersome because she was being a biatch.
Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference so that
No,
people
I just
don't walk
want
away?
you to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You just don't get to pretend that there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
Because I'm speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know them.
I know all 7 of them,
Then
and I'm
tell
going to
me
say
them.
again because you're going to get embarrassed. You don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an
And then she's saying, you're going to get embarrassed. Like he just was not angry enough. He was not mad.
example of a very flawed debate strategy. I
Okay,
actually
well,
am
I
under
got
no
one.
time constraint.
I got one.
Great. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And the
What's
final,
the specific charges, though?
that is them. Obstruction of justice,
Both of
obstruction
those-
of justice, witness tampering.
Okay, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being charged with
No,
it.
just the charges, and then 7.
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
She was being the way he just, oh God, Andrew, I just want to shake him. Raven Madness. Exactly. She's 12. Take a breath, Candace. You're going to suck all the air out of the room. And y'all are gonna, he just did not shake her and be like, okay, we know, you know, we got it. He walked into
Last
this.
charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to
It's a massive. It's
Got
like
it.
you cannot
Massive.
say murder versus aggravated
massive
murder.
distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence. And I actually find the defense's filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. I actually think that if the state was going to even try to pull this off, they should have charged him with just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that that debate strategy of thinking that you have to speak faster or somebody puts your hand up and they try to pretend like it's some sport. I think he thinks it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine in pretending that you care about this case enough to know one of the 7 charges that are up against Tyler Robinson when you say the evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty.
Sis, come on. Like this is what bothers me is the internet is so petty that they made him not knowing or being able to recite the 7 charges means that he doesn't care, he's not invested, and she's more invested. Obviously, she's more invested because that was her friend, they had a personal relationship, and she's making money off of it. She has to report the show, and she's making a claim against it. Me, I'm just looking at it, and I trust my government to do what the best job possible with this Charlie Kirk case. I'm not looking at it as intimately. I'm not his wife. And that's what they're not understanding. And that's why I feel like he should have dug into. I understand that you want to be Mrs. Kirk, but Mrs. Kirk is okay with the job that they're doing. I'm sorry that you're not. I'm sorry that you're Mrs. Farmer. Did you even change your name yet? Candace Owens. Did you even change your name yet? Sorry. I'm sorry you're Mrs. Farmer. But Mrs. Kirk is okay with it, so I'm okay with it. And that's how he should have literally just dug into her. Like, who knows the details of any case? Like, I mean, come on. Unless it's like your family member, unless you're like you won't know like if my family member got arrested and I would know the charges, but nobody like knows the details. I didn't even know Tyler Robinson had 7 charges. It doesn't mean that I don't care. I'm not his wife. And neither are you, Candace. Neither are you. Kisher, you said, are you a brown girl? Yes, I am. My skin is brown. I'm not black. I'm free. Here we go.
If you would like to move to final statements, I'm fine. I want to make sure Andrew has had the time that he has requested.
I think your team would like to pull up the 7 charges that he just asked you about. If you guys want to pull that up just to confirm the 7 you
like this
went
is
through.
petty.
Can you guys zoom in a little bit for
aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, which is counts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, tampering with a witness, and count 7
violent
I said offense in the presence of
in
a
front
minor.
of a child?
Yeah.
That's
So
what I said.
5, 6, tampering witness, 3rd-degree felony. Now, I did notice something I just was curious about. If I'm just wondering, when you pulled out your phone just before you asked that question, did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my phone.
I'm just
Why
curious.
did you do
Absolutely
this?
not. I have not had one communication with a single person, not even my producers who are in there this whole time we were here. You want to check my phone? I'm happy to do it because you're just going to get double embarrassed. Where's my phone?
And that to me was just like he just was so intimidated the entire time. He didn't realize that he had nothing to lose. She had everything to lose, and all he had to do was gain. And he let himself go off on these petty tangents like who who knows the charges? I don't know the charge. And you should have laughed. Candace, I know that you know all the details of this case because you're obsessed. You were obsessed with Charlie. You were obsessed with Charlie when he was alive, and you were obsessed with Charlie now. I don't know the details of the case because I trust the government is going to do what's best in this case. I trust that his wife, if she believes that there's any impropriety, that she will do it. I trust that he had closer friends than you, maybe, maybe not. All I'm saying is what's going on? Exactly. Somebody said, "You're too angry, girl." No, I'm not angry at all. He should have been angry. He wasn't angry enough that she was literally trying to destroy his career. And when I see men, yeah, Raven, not angry, pick a side. Um, you said I would have asked her why she had her phone and was looking at it during the debate anyway. That comes off as sus. I mean, I don't think that she would have cheated. I don't think that. What I do think is it doesn't matter. And what he should have said is whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. You know all 7 charges. You probably sleep with them at night. Like, you probably hold them under your pillow because you wish that you had been Mrs. Kirk. He should have been a little snarkier to her because she deserved it. She was snarky. She was so snarky. And he wasn't angry enough. And so now everybody's talking about the fact that he didn't know the chart. Whoop-de freaking do. Whoop-de. Congratulations, Candace. You know the charges. Woohoo! And Tyler Robinson is probably going to be found guilty of all of them. So, you guys, that's my take on it. Like I said, you don't have to agree with me. But did I make you think? I feel like people, and Charlie especially, God bless him. I love him. God rest his soul. I watched something, you guys, and just in talking about this whole Iran war, the Israel and stuff. People just don't understand how the world works. If you are new here, you guys, please like, share, subscribe, share this take with someone else. Let somebody think about it. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it. It helps me grow. um I was watching this guy because we're going to get into the Iran war because I do think it is important. We haven't talked about it. A lot of people don't talk about it, and I haven't really been following it because, you guys, I'm very careful that I don't know everything about what's going on, and neither do I want to know. Can you guys just admit, like, I don't want to know what's going on with everything in war because I recognize this is safety of the homeland. This is future generations to come. This is very impactful. And so people who comment on what they heard, like a Nick Fuentes, or people who comment on, oh, I have an insider that told me this about the war, I think it's just dangerous. Is that just me? But that's very dangerous when you're talking about affairs of nations and billions and trillions of lives. So I don't say very much, but I will say publicly what President Trump is talking about. And these people are just disgusting that want us to lose. Like, it's almost treasonous. I was watching Roland Martin, but before I go to the Roland Martin one, please, you guys, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I want you to watch this guy who is he's a former soldier, and I want you guys to hear what they think about this Americans. Not what they think about Americans, what he assesses with Americans. Listen to what he says real quick. So interesting.
Like what we're
Hold on.
know what
Let me
happens when
start
women are
over.
powerful?
what war would really
Hold on. Let me start
Nothing.
over.
If women protest, if 100,000
entail when it comes to winning it, I don't think we could stomach it. Financially, we would be better off because it would only take a few. But financially, we could stomach it. But morally, I don't think we could. You know, we were in uproar about the I forget how many hundreds of kids, little girls got at school from one of the bombs we dropped, messed up or whatever, dropped a bomb on one of them, that girls' school in Iran, 100 of them. If you can't stomach that, there's no way you're going to stomach what I'm not going to say capable of. No, we are, because like when I was in, I knew from at a young age, like in order to win this thing, and I served under a couple of presidents when I was in during the time of war, and the rules of engagement would change overnight, monthly, yearly, whatever. To win this thing, like when I say you kill everybody, you bust open all the doors, like go back to Iraq. You know how you would have won that war? And it's like, it's sick to say, but when you kick open those doors at night, I don't care if you have a weapon or not. Every man, every military age man, male, gotta them. You gotta kill them all. You gotta kill them all. That's like the only way. And if you don't have enough bullets or you just the stomach to do it, I mean, when I was in, that's what not just me, but we were all about. Like, we wanted to kill as many people as we possibly could under the rules of engagement that we were given. Like I said, I was in during a time shortly after the invasion. It was, if you had a cell phone or a shovel, when we rolled up on target, you gotta pop them. That was at the most lenient I've seen rules of engagement. It didn't last long, but there was a time that if a dude was outside on his cell phone and we rolled up, you get hit. You get hit. To win this war in Iran, and if you don't want to put boots on the ground because we're all tired of seeing 18, 19, 20-year-old kids getting sent home in body bags with a flag draped on top, I mean, do you go nuclear at that point? Do you really want to turn it into a glass parking lot? Do you really want to do that? How many more enemies do you want after that? If that's really what you want, just know you're going to have way more enemies than what you started off with. Way more people want you. I think that the American people just can't stomach it. I don't.
Y'all, that's why we are in this war for so long. This soldier is saying he doesn't think that the American people can stomach what needs to happen. We live in our beautiful, like, safe community. And in order to keep it that way, we have to win wars that try to come at us. Iran is trying to control the oil market. They are trying to build a fortress in the Middle East, which will affect us. And we are the power players. And here President Trump is saying, no, Iran has killed multiple, many of our soldiers over the years with roadside bombs and all of that. And we live in a bubble. You're right, Raven Madness. We live in a bubble. We live in this safe bubble. And when we think about war, we're like, oh, well, we don't want to commit any war crimes. There's no such thing as war crimes, y'all. That's just made up. It's made up. And the only reason that we haven't ended this is because of the propaganda war that's been happening. President Trump is trying, he's doing this fine, delicate balance of not making you guys think that he's evil or we're evil as a country, but also trying to protect us. We don't want to even think about what has to happen. And like he said, we can't stomach that the fact that every middle-aged male, every military, sorry, I said middle age, every military age male has to get rocked, okay? Rocked. Every military age man, what you roll up on them, they get rocked. He said that we were crying about the girls' school allegedly that was that had these young girls that passed away. But that's war, you guys. That's war. And the only thing preventing this is the American people saying, no, this is cruel. This is cruel. But I want to win, y'all. I want my country to win. I want a better school. I want a better life for my children. I don't want more Iranians. I want more Americans. I want cheap gas. I want rockets. I want to advance American society at all costs by any means necessary. Why? Because Iran wants to do it for them. Iran, whatever. They want to do it for them. And then they look at us as wrong for wanting to do it for our children. Real war is ugly. The American people need to stay in that bubble. You're right, Roberto. Like, we just need to mind our business and let it happen. I prefer to remain in a bubble, but we should be aware of what's going on around us. Yes, we need to worry about what's like our communities and let President Trump handle what's going on over there. But we're not ready for what's happening. And so these traitors like Roland Martin, y'all, I'm gonna share with you because I just think that it's interesting that these people are Americans. These people are Americans. And they talk about us like they want us to lose. And I take that personally because I have children that have to live here. I'm sorry. My children have to live here. And Roland Martin, he doesn't have children. And I don't, y'all, can we just be honest? Can we be honest right here? Being an aunt or being an uncle, there is nothing wrong with that. You're an aunt and you're an uncle. But can I get some parents in the chat that it hits different when it's flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood, like bone of your bone. Like, this is my children. And so Roland Martin, with no kids, can say whatever he wants to. Oh, we're losing. Even if that were the case, you freaking traitor. You freaking traitor. Even if that were the case, how dare you get on the internet and say it? It's not the case. It's not the case. Iran is not going to win over the United States of America. They will not win. The only thing they're winning is the war of propaganda because Americans are too silly and they hate their children. And they allow people like Roland Martin to say out loud when we're in the middle of a conflict that we're losing. That's the title. You are losing. Roland rips idiot President Trump's plan to claim the Strait of Hormuz as U.S. territory. I want to claim anything as U.S. territory if we can. That's the way this goes. And these traitors, you're talking about, and they like to call me traitor because I'm saying I'm not black. Who wants to be black when this is your leader? That you could be at war. You could be at war for the future of your children, and he's sitting up here saying we're losing. Listen to him.
Seen in your life. This fool had a rally today, and he actually said that he is going to declare the Strait of Hormuz U.S. territory. Seriously, this idiot said that.
Yeah.
So the ceasefire with Iran is breaking. There is no deal, and this idiot wants us to believe that he is going to declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory.
If President Trump is an idiot, then what are you, fat boy? What are you? That's first. Second of all, Iran will do what we say do. Iran will have what we say they can have. America can take the strait at any time that we want to. Just like we can take Greenland, just like we can take Canada if we want to. We are trying to work with these people. so we can make a better America, so we can make a greater America. And trust me, the world is better off under America than it is under Sharia. Would you like Iran to claim the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil travels through? Would you like that, sir? Then go live there. Let's see how they treat you. Let's see if you can get a podcast and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year of talking bad about the government and calling the president an idiot. Let's see how that goes for you. Yes, sir. That's how powerful we are. Exactly. We are. Because they've been indoctrinated for 20 years. It's sad, Raven. Like, do y'all want to lose? Is that what y'all want to do? Y'all want to lose this war? Look who you're listening to.
I don't think Iran would be cool with that.
Oh.
But this sounds like this ridiculous idea to take over Greenland, and we're just going to take it ourselves. Y'all, we're dealing with an idiot.
No, you're just.
I am glad
You're.
I am not one of the stupid fools who voted for this man.
We're looking at an idiot, which is you. And not only are you an idiot, you are weak. You are a pussy. So I know going and defending your homeland and going over there and people who have tried you and you go over there and you set it off on them. I know that seems like that's foreign to people like you who like to get pegged and who like to, like get, fingered in their booty hole, Mr. Roland. I know to you that that's foreign. You sound like an idiot. No, actually, it doesn't sound like an idiot at all. Like you said, the Don Road Doctrine, take all the territory. And Iran didn't like it when we were trying to make a deal with them. And when we were trying to work with them, they didn't like it. And so now, yeah, we can just take it actually. Actually, we can. I'm sorry that's foreign to you who likes to get booty pegged. But actually it happens all the time. Here we go.
Michael, really? You what? So you just think Iran's gonna be like, sure, go ahead, it's yours. What a dumbass.
Yeah, Roland. You remember a few weeks ago I said I hope Donald Trump shows his entire ass every day because I want the white people that voted for him to see how stupid he is. So yeah, he thinks he suffers from this strongman sickness.
Strong man is a sickness. That's the toxic masculinity, sir. So are you a weak man? Is that better? He suffers from the strong man sickness. I like the weak man better. You freaking moron. This is why you cannot let black people run your stuff, you guys. You just
He
can't.
suffers from the strongman mentality, and he thinks he can just tell his supporters that, yeah, we're going to make this a U.S. territory. We're just going to take it. And they're dumb enough to believe it. Now he thought Iran was going to roll over like Venezuela when he went in and kidnapped Maduro. Iran said, no, we're not going for that. And it's 6 months later, and he still doesn't know what to do with Iran. But yeah, you're going to have this will play well on Fox News. This will play well with the 77 million who voted for him, or the diehard MAGA that support him. But no, they're not gonna. He's not gonna do this, and they're still not letting the ships through the Strait of Hormuz for the most part. So he's trying to, as gas is $4 a gallon, he's trying to project this strongman facade again. And no, it's not going to work this time. And I think this is to divert away from the fact that he got away from one plane to go to another plane in the catering car in the catering truck. he may be trying to wipe that story off the headlines as well.
So this is what I want to say to you guys. Would you prefer him to have the weak man? It's like the weak man. Second of all, ships not going through the Strait of Hormuz is not hurting the United States of America, by the way. We got plenty of oil. Or can we just can we just understand that oil is not rare? It's not. Oil is actually not rare. And Iran is trying to make it seem like it's rare because they want to control the prices. They want to put a toll on it, and they're trying to control the oil market. Oil is not rare. This whole issue of this war is because we are trying to make the free flowing trade of oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran wants to control it and drive the price up. If we don't understand that oil is going to go higher if Iran controls it, then I don't know. I don't know what I don't know how else to explain it to anybody. But here he is on Roland Martin. These are Americans, you guys. This is why you just can't let everybody be an American. They're traitors. They're traitors. You're wanting him to lose. You're talking about, oh, Iran wasn't just going to lay down like Venezuela. First of all, they're two totally different. Venezuela is a smaller country, and Venezuela is in our hemisphere. Iran, as we just established, is running a propaganda war. Y'all are not ready to hear about what needs to be done over in Iran for us to win the war, because we could easily win the war in Iran. What we are doing now that nobody is talking about, and it's making, President Trump looks stupid. Iran is broke. Iran's inflation is, oh my God, like they said it's like 300%. They have no money. So all I would say is keep starving them out. So President Trump is trying to do it the humane way because he doesn't want to make it a glass parking lot. Exactly. That's the sickening part. Why are they rooting against their own country? Get out. Get out. Like, it's so infuriating.
The thing that has me cracking up, Candace, is this fool gets into a war with Iran because of Israel, and he ain't got no way out. And Iran's literally like, yo, man, we ain't doing none of that bullshit you trying to do. And this fool is just throwing up any sort of comment to get our attention, but it all goes back to the same thing. You are losing.
No, idiot. You know who's losing? You are losing. Your kids are losing. Oop, he don't have none. Your nieces, your nephew, your family. You think things are going to be better with Iran? This is what Black people do, y'all. Y'all go over and subscribe to Unblack. But this is what they do. Why are you rooting against your own future? But you don't want to go over to Africa after America has been destroyed. You don't want to go over there. You want to sit on your platform and talk about America. You are losing. No, you are losing. We will not lose.
You are losing, and we know that the strait is under a different authority that has been fighting this forever. Remember, he teased about calling this the Strait of Trump or the Strait of America. It kind of reminds me of the Kennedy Center, how he went through all of that process, and now he has his name on the Kennedy Center because it says that it was restructured by.
Sis, stay focused. We're talking about the war. Stay focused. Where's this guy getting his information from? He's getting it from the propaganda machine. The propaganda machine. And he will not have to respond when he's found out that we didn't lose.
Trump. He's going to try to get his name on there some way. But this is the type of person that we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone who is egotistic. We're dealing with someone who wants to see their name all over the place. We're dealing with someone who is worried about legacy, whether it's, in the ballroom or whether it's in the reflecting pool. But
Do you hear how retarded she sounds, y'all? How hard our word she sounds? He's worried about legacy. Matt, weak black American men, Lord, please rid us of these people. Weak black American men, Lord, please. He's worried about legacy. Oh, he's worried about legacy. What else are you supposed to be worried about, sis? Your hair, your nails, your lashes, your outfit? Like black people? What else are you supposed to be worried about? I wish more people were worried about legacy. Do you see how foolish these people sound? Hoster, you FBI? No, baby. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, I have been in no way been involved with the FBA. I love y'all though. Y'all funny. Um why do they wear all these oversized glasses? She looks cute. I'm not going to attack her looks.
this is indicative of the type of man and the type of level of intellect that this man has to just go out there and say anything like a third grader. Just say anything and see where it hits and see if anybody corrects you. But this is part of what he does, and it's part of his plan. Just keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Unfortunately, he has people that will keep listening. And if he keeps moving the way that he does, he's gonna entwine more people into his arena. But we know that he is never going to get that straight, and it will never be the straight of Trump.
Dude, guess how much it cost me to make
She
sure
is
my family gets
so
$1 million
dumb.
if something ever happens to me? You'll never.
She said look
Type of
what she said.
level of intellect that this man has to just go out there and say anything like a third grader. Just say anything and see where it hits and see if anybody corrects you. But this is part of what he does, and it's part of his plan. Just keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Unfortunately, he has people that will keep listening. And if he keeps moving the way that he does, he's gonna entwine more people into his arena. But we know that he is never going to get that straight, and it will never be the straight of Trump.
Do you understand? I don't care what it's called. I just want Americans to control it. Do you see how weak these people are?
Well, they have been out at sea for 9 months. They're complaining about backed up toilets, no food, mildew, mold, all this sort of stuff. And he goes, they haven't been out long enough. I need all of these white folks, broke folks to understand Donald Trump does not give a damn about veterans or the military. He is all about how he can use them for whatever purpose. He's a fraud. He is a joke. He is despicable, Matt.
The America that MAGA wants to go back to is the James K. Polk Manifest Destiny America, where you just point and say, that's mine and I'm going to take it. That's the reason you make these kinds of statements. I think Michael hit the nail on the head, and Candace as well. This is about, feeding red meat to his base. And as you said, Fox News, this is a talking point. Nobody can truly believe he's trying to get the Strait of Hormuz. But, when you look at Greenland and look at some of the other things that he said, this is part and parcel with that most American ethos, especially for people who are jingoists, who see America as this shining city on a hill where we go back to the foregone days of the forebears, right?
These people are evil. They're talking about this country. They're talking about this country. Yeah, like you said, haha, like they said that they're never going to be the Gulf of America. Exactly. They think people don't even know how powerful we are, you guys. Where am I from? I'm from America. I'm from America. I just don't claim the FBA's Yeah. But you see how weak these people are? Like, they should literally just get their citizenship taken. Like, it's almost like treasonous, right? And, like, is it just me? It's treasonous. President Trump is fighting for us, literally fighting for us.
This idea that we can just go take whatever we want. And even though that's not ever going to happen, what you get from that is the rhetorical value of being the strong man, as Michael put it, to say, I'm going to go out there and get what I want and stake my claim in this world. And we know he's lying. We know that there's not ever a realistic chance that's going to happen.
First of all, we did not try to do that, you guys. We did not try to do that. We were trying to work with Iran, and we said, hey, Iran, you cannot charge any tolls on the Strait of Hormuz. You cannot build a nuclear weapon because we want to make sure that you are not trying to build a fortress in that area. We don't want to be driven out of the Middle East. We want to make sure that we are still abiding by the rules of engagement. So we didn't want to just take the Strait of Hormuz. However, like I said, when my kids are fighting over toys, mind you, the US is the pappy, the daddy of the world, okay? And when you see that kids are fighting, what do? You take the toy. And so Iran or Iran, however y'all want to say it, was not doing what they were supposed to do. They don't want to make a deal. We're not going to continue to go back and forth with them. We've been going back and forth, like you said, 9 months with them. Now we're getting ready to take it because now you're playing games with us. And my thing is these weak men, Roland Martin and his panel of guests, should understand that this is the way that the world works. But unfortunately, they don't. And that's why people shut Black people out. You're not allowed at the adult table. You don't get allowed. You're not allowed at you're not allowed at the adult table because you can't handle it. You can't handle the conversation. You can't handle you just can't handle it. This right here, they are not allowed. I'm trying to put it. This panel right here. Let me make sure that their face is on my thing. This panel right here is not allowed at the adult table. Because when we're sitting here and we're talking about adult issues like war and people dying and money and trade, these people start to they sound like, you remember when you had to go over and possess the land, and Caleb and Joshua say, oh yeah, we can take them, and then the other 10 spies, so it was 12 spies, and the other 10 was like, no, we're like grasshoppers in their own eyes. We, in our own eyes, we can't take them. And then they ended up wandering and dying off for 40 years in the wilderness because of those 10 people. Well, these are the dummies that's going to sit here and go back and forth with Iran. We said we are not going to allow you to shut us out, build a nuclear weapon, and control the strait through tolls. You either get on board or we're going to take it. Period. That's the adult conversation. And that's why Black people like this are not allowed. You're not allowed at the big person table. Foundation, okay, Roberto. Foundational Black Americans, a social descriptor denoting Black Americans with lineage tied to American chattel slavery. I don't believe in chattel slavery. I know slavery happened, but it happened all across the world. So I'm not a foundational Black American because I don't believe in chattel slavery. Now, if you ask, are my ancestors attached to slavery in this country? Absolutely. My father is from North Carolina. My mother is from Trinidad, so they say that I'm like kind of mixed. I'm a tether. I did a whole show on that, you guys. But yeah, I don't believe in chattel slavery, so I don't fit. Like I don't fit with foundational Black Americans. That dude sounds like I'm not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe. Exactly. I know. Can't go to the barbecue. These people are ridiculous. And that's why Black people are just not. You're not allowed to talk about adult conversations. You're not allowed. Because you don't get it. You don't get how the world works. You don't understand it, and I hate that for you. I hope President Trump takes the Strait of Hormuz. I hope President Trump um you said boom, I like this channel now. Roberto, thank you. Um Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it. Um the next thing that we're going to go over before I get out of here, you guys, cuz I know it's late, but thank you for hanging in there with me. It's already tomorrow over here in the east. If you have not already, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. We're going to talk about what's going on with the get y'all the brown hellhole, y'all. Yeah, FBA weren't FBA's owners slave owners too. Stop it, Matt. Stop. Shh. You're not supposed to tell anybody that Black folks own slaves too. And you're not supposed to tell anybody that Black folks were the worst slave owners. They were worse than white people. Y'all know it. Y'all know it to be true. Y'all know that people treat Black people worse than white folks now. So you know ain't nothing changed. Anybody had a Black boss? Oh, not a Black female boss. That's the worst in the world. So, yes. It's the truth. I know, right, Roberto? It's the truth. Anyhow, you guys, let's get into these brawls. Oh my God. These Target brawls, y'all. Are y'all watching? Did y'all watch what's going on with this brown hellhole that we're in? Hold on. Let me wait. You don't think slavery happened? I don't get it. No, no, no. Slavery definitely happened. I don't believe in chattel slavery. You know, y'all add stuff. Black folks just add stuff, you know. Oh, chattel slavery. Did white folks own slaves? Yes. Did Black folks own slaves? Yes, Keisha. Um, did slavery happen? Yes. It happened in Genesis all the way to Revelations in the Bible. It happened over in Africa. It's happening over in Africa now. It happened in India. It happened in it's just it happened everywhere. I just don't think that that Americans America actually practiced slavery the least, and we hold them accountable the most, which I just think is unfair. I love America, flaws and all. This is the best country in the entire world. So that's my take on slavery in Ireland. Yeah, that's my take on slavery. I don't get caught up with it because y'all don't really care about Keisha. You don't care about Keisha here. You don't care about slavery. You don't care about slavery. If you cared about slavery, you would be bunning up the streets right now because over in Africa there's slaves. You Keisha, come on. You talking to me, sis. Sis or bro, I think you're a sis. Sis, you don't care about slavery. Can we just come on? You talking to me. It's just us. Somebody said Keisha's laws. It's just us, Keisha. You don't care about slavery. There's plenty of slavery to care about right now. You don't. You don't care about slavery in Africa. You don't care about slavery now. We all slaves to the government right now. Y'all don't care. So can we just stop talking about it? It's whack. It's corny. Anyway, all right. So let's get into this Target brawl, y'all. This mess. This brown hellhole that poor these Somalians are like just end TPS right the freak now. Okay? Let's end it. Hold on. End TPS right now. Now, I don't know if this is the old video, y'all, or not, because like sometimes when something is hot, they'll bring it back up around this time just to kind of show because the whole TPS is ending, so they're showing it. But look they sisters. Y'all listen, he said who won. He said who won. How you put a ring on mommy and get your ass? He said who won. Bitch, I'll spit on you, hoe. I'll spit on this bitch, fat fuck. You fucking bitch. This why when we talk shit on the internet? I don't fucking shit. Get on. They don't know what to do. Y'all the police coming, y'all gonna go to jail. He just called police. He just called police. Get the fuck out of me. I'll beat you up too, bitch. Get the fuck out. Is that your mom? Put the girl on the ground while they distracted. Wait, what? Come on, daddy. I think it's y'all, it's the black folks for me. The black folks are looking like finally it's not one of us. Are we gonna live like this? Y'all, look at the security guard. The guy with the yellow. Is he the security guard? I don't want to call him the security guard if he's not the security guard, y'all. Y'all, the black people, y'all, just got back from Africa and I kissed the floor when I got back to the US. Roberto, yes. Everybody that goes over to Africa says that. Unless you bougie like my mama. My mama went over to Zanzibar and I heard Zanzibar is so nice. Hold on. The American people are slaves to the US. Yes, we are. Deport them all. Good grief. It's so embarrassing, y'all. It's groups of it's people that have a certain complexion that are dealing with this. She said it's true. I don't really care. We don't. We don't, Keisha. Can we just be on? It's just us. It's just us. We're not judging you. We're not judging you, Keisha. But folks don't care about Africa. Those are there's those Somali people, animals. As I look back over my life, I don't think I've ever seen a white brawl. No, they do them, but they're very few and far between. This is just getting really very common amongst a certain group of people. Yes, it's a brown hellhole at this point. Exchanges and returns. Let's return them, exchange them for some of the Africanas. Let's return and exchange these people. Y'all, I think there's a word. It says exchanges and return. Let's exchange and return them for some of these Afrikanas. I don't see these Afrikanas doing this. It's too much. Y'all, you come over to, think about it. Think about it. You come over to a country. This is how disrespectful these people are. You come over to a country with TPS, so temporary protected status, and you're not afraid to go into public society fighting like a freaking animal. And I don't know if these people are US citizens or not. God, I hope not. I hope not. I hope they really are temporary. But you get what I'm saying? They're the worst of our culture. You would think they would be grateful being over here. You would think. But this is how they act. They don't respect our laws, they don't respect our culture. They don't respect the decency and the society that is civilized. They don't respect it. You're in Target acting very black. This is what black folks do. But I don't know if they're on TPS or not. But this is when you bring in TPS, this is what you're getting more of. You're getting more of this, y'all. And I'm sorry, I don't want it. I don't want it. Go back. Go back and take Roland Martin with you. Ugh. Anywho, you guys. Thank you. I think that'll be it for me today, you guys. It's really, really late. I just appreciate you guys so much for hanging in there with me. Those of you guys that watched up until this point, we've been live for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm so grateful, you guys, for helping me to grow my channel. If you have not already, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Help me to grow this thing, you guys. I really, really need it. I really appreciate you. I am going to try to go live a couple more times this week because I do need to ramp up my viewership. You guys, help me, help me, help me. Email me topics that you guys want to discuss. You can email me and Blanche for our show Unblack. You guys, if you haven't gone over there and watched that, that's fun. That's a good time, you guys. It's it's unblacktoday@gmail.com. If you guys have a topic or something that you are interested in getting my opinion on or getting us to kind of take a look at, let me know. I'm so grateful that you watch. Black, yes, it's on Thursdays at 9:15. Oh, thank you, Roberto. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for my new subscribers and my returning subscribers. I'm so grateful again that you guys